Uh, Thank you very much, madam. Thank you very much for this opportunity to invite me to share with you some different things about our kids in our government areas and in our society. My name is John Magoda, most known me as Mwalimu Magoda. I'm special education teacher. I'm educational activist, and I'm the educational writer. I write different books and different online articles about parenting, educations, and the different areas. Also, I'm the education content creator in Instagram, in Facebook, I'm known as Mwalimu Magoda. And this year, in the help of God, I win the best educational content creator in Tanzania due to my contribution I did in the educational sector. So that is my very few introduction to all people to know about me. When it comes to the situation of our kids, neurodiversity learners in our environment, to be honest, is still a challenge, because the challenge of neurodiversity learners is that most of the parents, most of educators, we are claiming children with needs must be deaf, children with needs must be blind, children with needs must have physical disability. So that led most of the challenge for neurodiversity, because most of them, their challenge cannot sit by eye in first sight. It depends, the more time you network with kids, the more time you connect with kids. That's why it becomes so hard for community, for educators, and the other people to work or to deal with them. So the situations, to be honest, is not good. Is not good, because the perception of community, the perception of educators, the perception of different stakeholders toward the kids with the learning challenge is very difficult. And most of the time, I'm not to blame them, to be honest, because the knowledge and the information about these kinds of problems in Tanzania is become very late. So most of the people, they don't know anything about learning challenges. So that's why most of the time, even madam, you can be the witness, I was not to blame them, because the knowledge and the information is challenged. That's why even here in Tanzania, you can look for organization, or you can look for institution with deal with kids with learning challenge. You will find very few. You will find in Tanzania dyslexia, mostly. You will find that. But most of them, they are not working toward kids with this challenge. They are focused in the other groups of challenge, maybe deaf, maybe blind, maybe albinism. That is the most of the time. That's why even when you look to their people with disability organization, when they have meeting, most of the time the people who go there are the one who maybe who have albinism, are the one who have physical disability, the one who have blind and deaf. But this group is a group with our community, they forget them. So I think now you can get that picture. Are we together, madam?
Yes, Madam Magoda, we're together.
Yeah, you can see that picture. For example, before going to the government school, I want to give you my history toward the kids with the learning with the neurodiversity. For example, in Tanzania, there are no, I don't think now, but for me, I was meet with the learning disabilities in university and in second year, in the first semester. So the first time I hear about dyslexia, I hear about dysgraphia. So from that day, I was so interested to learn about this. So from there, in 2018, I was starting to find, oh, what is the dyslexia? Even my colleagues in the college, I was telling them, hey, I'm specific learning difficulty specialist. Others, they are going in brains, others are going to the deaf, but I was suggest, hey, let me interesting to that area. So from that days, I was starting to speak to the people, to try to share to the community about that challenge. So when I come to the community, I meet there are a lot of kids, they have that challenge, but the community, they don't have any idea, because kids in the other area, they perform good, especially our kids with dyslexia. In the other area, they perform good. But when it comes to the academics, they face some challenge. So the parents and teachers and other educators, they believe that these kids is not serious with education, is not serious with school. So that was a challenge which I was forced to the community. So situation in our school learning environment. One, most of teachers, they don't have knowledge towards neurodiversity learners. Because as I said before, madam, we are claiming the kids who have challenge must be deaf, must be blind, must be albinism, or must be someone who have physical challenge. So they don't have any ideas. Even teachers, even the parents, even the community. The only place where a teacher can get some awareness about those kids is a place where there are special education unit. So to the school where there are no any special education unit, the teachers does not have any knowledge, any ideas about those kids. So that's why they term them as stubborn kids. They term them as laziness kids. But they fail to understand that these kids, they have challenge. So that makes it so difficult for our kids in our school system, because in other area, you see they stay with kids up maybe to class 4. When come to the doing exam, they say, hey, you cannot do exam because you can fail. So they shift, especially in the private school. They remove the kids from their school when they reach standard 4. Sometimes when they reach standard 7, because when they have standard 4, when they have standard 7, they have national exams. So they fear that the kids will fail. So that's why they try to throw away from school. So any other challenge which they face in our schools is from their fellow pupils, because their fellow pupils, they hear what other people they say about those kids. So they started to label them as a different people. Even sometimes there are things these kids can do, but because of that labeling, they are starting to help them and not giving them chance to participate. because we already make it the classes. This is a special needs kids. This is a normal kids. So even the kids, they have that perception toward those kids when they joining to the school. Are we together, madam?
Yes, we are together, Malim.
Yeah, if you have the question, you have something you can ask me in order to go to the right direction.
After you finish presenting, people will give their comments and questions. So just give your comments.
Okay. So, and even when you come to the what they call inclusive educations, when you come to the things we called inclusive educations, in our learning environment, only they focus in other groups. As I say before, I meet different educator who they perform master's degree, others they perform PhD in the area of inclusiveness. When they try to find there, I was asking them, you are only speaking about albinism, you are only speaking about deaf, you are only speaking about the blind. Why you are not speaking about this kind of groups? Because in their inclusive area, they forget about our kids. So that's why when most people in Tanzania, they speak, you can do even your own research. When they speak about inclusive, the picture which will show you, the video which will show you, they will show the other groups of people with the disability. You will see deaf people, you will see blind people, you will see physical disability people, but it's hardy. It's very rare to see children with a challenge in neurodiversity. It's very hard because they thinking this group is not wanted in their inclusive area. So that is the things which we face in our environment. And the other challenge, when the different stakeholders they come to provide the help, or they come to provide some support, the things which they have in their brain that when you speak about education, special education, they come other groups in their minds, but not our groups. So that is the biggest challenge which we face in our educational system toward the stigma of this neurodiversity, because it's the new things compared to Kenya, compared to Nigeria. Even when you go to the social media, even if you go to the meeting or to the conference, it's hard to meet somebody who is speaking about dyslexia. It's hard to meet somebody who speaks about intellectual impairment. And it's hard. Most of the educational speakers, they speak about other groups and they speak about other challenges. But these groups is very hard to hear the speaking. Even in other area, even is about area in the master's degree. There are no, I'm sure, there are no place in our country which provide the master's degree in specialized in intellectual impairment or in reading disability. No, there are no. Most can be in deaf, most can be in blind. So you can see that challenge. So that challenge is very, 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 very big to our kids in our school system, because perception of the people, lack of the knowledge and information to the parents. That's why you meet with parents and the parents blame their kids about academic performance in school. Very bad, very harsh, because even parents, they don't know anything about our kids. For example, madam, you can be the witness even in the dyslexia day in October. Then you cannot see maybe some people from areas, they go to the medias, from government, they're speaking about the awareness about neurodiverse trainers is challenge. The only things which they most of the time they do is to give them gifts to different things. And they don't provide the gift or they don't provide the assistance toward the educational areas. They only provide things which is out of educational areas. That's why you see most of them, they fail, they get hard to meet or to enter in the formal education system. Madam, you can be the witness. Even in Tanzania, if you try to find the private schools which deal with kids with neurodiversity, you will still struggle to find. Yeah, you can have money to pay for your kids, but to find the school which they have better environment for them will be hard, because the things which we have forgotten and we are not consider them as a part of the people who needs our assistance. But the stakeholder and other people, they try to raise some awareness. But to be honest, for those people, is challenge. Our community, they don't have enough, and they don't have enough knowledge. They don't have enough information about those kids. That's why you can meet other people, you can ask them, do you know about dyslexia? Someone does not know. Even, do you know about autism? Do you know about ADHD? They don't know. The only things they know is about mental retardation. That is, so all a group are put in one cup. They have mental retardation. So that is their challenge, which we face in our school environment. Madam, I know some comments, some questions.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much, Mwalimu Magoda, for what you do. You know, right now, if you're able to create good content on social media, you're very powerful. You can pass a message to a very big audience. And I'm sure that's why our country recognized you, Mwalimu, for what you're doing. So my one question to you, Mwalimu Magoda, is that what do you think we can do to improve the learning environment in public schools for children with neurodiversity? What can we do to improve the environment in the classrooms or in schools, in public schools? As a teacher, what do you think we can do to improve that and reduce the stigma?
Yeah, the things which I believe which we can do, we can help. First is to raise awareness first to the teachers, because most of the teacher, they don't know anything about these kids with the neurodiversity. That is the pure fact, and I cannot blame them. Why I cannot blame them? Because when they study in certificate, when they study in a diploma, when they study in a degree, they was not study about the neurodiverse learners. They only study very few in educational psychology. They only study very few in educational psychology. That's why in Tanzania, you can meet a teachers who have degree in education, but does not know anything about intellectual impairment, autism, ADHD, anything, because they was focused in other area of teaching education. But the good news is that this year, inclusive education will it become the compulsory course to all teachers who are studying teachers education. So the government, especially the madam who deal with the special education in Tanzania, Madam Muti, who I forget their name.
Margaret Matonya?
Yeah, Madam Margaret Matonya. Well, now the teacher, they study basic inclusive education to their study. So just you can imagine, from we get independence up to 2020 to 2025, 2024, the teachers, all the teachers now, they're starting to study inclusive education course as a part of the course to their study. So how about the teacher who graduated 2023, 2020, 2019, 2018, 2015? They enter to the educational system without any knowledge.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Mwalim Magoda. There's a comment on the platform. This says, this is Philbert Kimambo. Nice presentation, teacher. One among the sessions that one should never miss. Thank you, teacher Philbert. I see a hand from Dr. Vincent. Dr. Vincent, you're welcome to give your comments or ask.
Thank you, Claudius. I hope I'm audible enough.
Yes, you are.
Okay. Now, I've had the presentation. First, I'd like to just give a comment on, I don't know, but this is a forum that should have been attended by quite a number of audience. So, it starts from the audience point of view that if they can all attend this, and then we are going to start now the journey, because we are way far from reaching where we want to reach. Now, Mwalimu has talked about quite a number of things in terms of we refer to it in the global world disability studies, that awareness, some of the key things are awareness. People are not aware. That is the bottom line. Because it is said in the holy books, my people will perish for lack of knowledge. And people are perishing because they don't know. And it's not their mistake not to know. Because those who are supposed to make them to know also don't know it.
Very true, very true.
So we need to start from a point that at least now, Tanzania, there's inclusive education as a unit, which is still not that, it is still not, it's way still below the expectation. Yeah. Because if we can have only one unit for inclusive education, it is very nice, at least for a start. But quite a number of things need to be put in place, because if we are talking of creating and becoming an inclusive society, from the societal point of view, a lot of things need to change from the education perspective, from the health perspective, even in the religious organization and bodies. People need to know, whom are we referring to when we talk about somebody who is termed as an impaired person, or a handicapped, or a disabled person, or a challenged person? Who are we talking about? So I gave an example one time here that you might go to a forum in a church, in a mosque, but people don't take care of, even people don't listen, people don't hear, people don't hear. We don't take care of them. We don't know that in the audience, there might be deaf people who are just looking at you. They don't hear anything. So those are the small issues that we look at and we tend to ignore. That's why somebody is asked between blindness and deafness, which one will you pick? Majority of the people went with what? Went with deafness because they're used to seeing, but they don't know that deafness separates you from people, while blindness separates you from things. Which is more important? The people, not the things, not the table, not the food, but the people that you are with. So if we just mute your TV currently or television, and then you just try to listen in the news bulletin on the happenings that were going on, you will feel how frustrated a deaf person is if something is not, sign language for them. So that is the starting point of how inclusive can the society be. Then we transfer it now. When people are aware that we have people like this in the society, then we start changing policies. Now we come to the education perspective now, change the policy within the education level. If we could have somebody from international schools, they could also tell us what are some of the gaps that they have there, because the gaps are so many in the government sector than in the international perspective, although we still have gaps in the international forum. But if we could have somebody from the international forum, which I know Claudians has tried to find one, but because of some eventualities and some happenings, they might not be in a position to join, which is right, we accept. But it could be a very good comparative, because I believe that in the international sector, there quite be some kind of gaps that Mwalimu just talked about. Awareness is also there in international sector, because most of the teachers in the international schools don't know this. They're not aware about these children that we are calling special needs children. They're not aware about inclusive education. You are telling them, I'm a learning support teacher, or I'm working in a learning support. They ask you, what is learning support? What is your work in class? So they don't also know. So it's not only in the perspective of the government, but also in the international forum. It is a big challenge that some of the teachers might not be aware about the issues of disability studies. They might see a child, which Mwalimu has talked about, autism, specific learning difficulty, which goes along being divided into different categories. Communication difficulties, they might just tag it as one umbrella, or these are students who are GNT, gifted and talented. This is a child who falls under intellectual difficulties, gifted and talented, because this is a child, if you're not careful with him or her, is going to mess up in the classroom. But they are not aware about it, and that's why it is written, my people will perish for lack of knowledge. So even in the international sector, a lot needs to be done. Forums need to be done, trainings need to be done, policies need to be changed, parents need to be made aware, because in as far as might be blaming the educational perspective, but parents play a key role also in as far as the education sector is concerned, because education is three will: the parent, the school, and the teacher and the child. It's a three-wheel vehicle, such that if one person does not participate or takes place in any of his aspect or her aspect, then the vehicle will have a slow puncture. If it has a slow puncture, then to fill or to mend that tire will not be easy. So if the parents are not going to take their role as parents to come out, to share their experiences to the audience, to the society, and tell them, this is how it is, this is how my child is, just like this support group that has been formed. Forums such as this, where we have people, teachers coming to share their experiences, and teachers are sharing about people, even some of the masters. If you look at the thesis dissertation, reposite in some of the universities, maybe University of Dar es Salaam, University of KwaZulu in South Africa, University of KwaZulu Natal, South Africa, University of South Africa, Kenyatta University. You pick some universities in Nigeria, and you come abroad, you pick University of Texas and the stuff. You'll find out that there's a big gap in Africa in as far as disability studies is concerned. Very few studies are being done in some areas, such that we don't have literature to guide us. People are not, and governments should invest in. I don't know if Claudius, the guy that you said who is dealing with is in the policy making or Ministry of Education, is in this forum. But I would want to challenge them that they should invest more in research. Countries that are developing, research is what is assisting them. People do research, they identify the gaps, They give recommendations and what should be done. The government, through different semi-autonomous bodies, they come in place now to fill those gaps, to say, oh, there is a gap in terms of transport system, because people on wheelchair, they can't even access, they can't access the bus. They have to be lifted. Why should people get tired of lifting them? Why can't we have a policy guiding them to also access transportation? So they change the policy after what? Research has been done that people with wheelchair cannot access some essential services. They can't have, their mobility index is very low, affected by what? People are not inclusive within the society. Even the traffic lights, they're not showing that somebody on a wheelchair is crossing. So people ignore them. The pathways that we have are too small for people on a wheelchair. They are not even selected for people using what? The stick, the cane for the blind. So you see, there's so many things that we might look at, and they might look as if they are so minute or small, but they hold a lot of water. So if we start from forums such as this, countries should invest in research. Research is the only way we can prove the points that we are talking about. It can be evidence-based. We conducted research, the participants were 1,000, the sampling was random sampling. These were the counties that were involved, or the districts that were involved, the provinces that were involved. The participant had these responses. We analyzed this data like this. These are the gaps that we arrived at. And from these gaps, we are recommending that if possible, not now, but in 5 years to come, we develop a 5-year plan. This plan is going to be multi-sectoral. If you can move from that level, then you can achieve something. And forums such as this are very important. I mean, we should even have this forum of today. We could even have some all multi-sectoral. It could have been open for multi-sectoral. People from the media, people from the government, people from hospitals, schools. It is a multi-sectoral discussion. Where are we? Where do we want to go? And how are we going to go where we want to go? Those are 3 critical questions that we could have discussed in this forum. Thank you, Claudius.
Thank you so much, Dr. Vincent. You have always insisted on people attending, and I totally agree with you. And we are actually, in our support group, we are 485. But when I look today, we are 10. And I don't know why people don't make an effort to join. But anyway, we will continue doing this because we will put this session on YouTube so that those who didn't make it for whatever reason, they can always listen to it at their convenience. So thank you, Dr. Vincent, for creating time to attend. And yes, evidence-based strategies will help us to make the right decisions. Data, numbers cannot lie. So we need to base our actions on research. Thank you. I just want to say, I've put a link on our chat. I'm gonna say that as Dyslexia Tanzania, we like to teachers workshops, teachers awareness is a key point. It's part of our strategy. It's part of our core business as an organization. So we do these teachers workshops every time, and that's why we decided to start the dyslexia online school so that we can reach a bigger community, because we realize we cannot move from school to school. We are better off having this. And also, of course, we still do the teachers workshops, and we work with Wilson Language Institute. I've put the link on the chart. I'm just going to mention in passing that teachers are very, very important, like we all know in the education system. And as we know, when teachers know more, they will be better, they will do better. So the more we engage teachers in awareness sessions, the better for our community. So we collaborate with Wilson Language Corporation, and the founder is actually going to be visiting Tanzania next year. If you're not in our support group, please just join our support group. I've put the link so that you can know what Wilson Language Institute they do. They are very, very, very important. They are key people in the structured literacy. Every teacher, if you apply the approach of Wilson language, I'm sure you will be the best teacher in the world. And as we continue talking about the training and having just one unit of inclusive education in the Tanzania system, I'm aware we have people from other countries and they're welcome to share their experience. But Tanzania, we are now starting to have, Teacher Magoda, thank you for letting us know. I didn't actually know that we now have a mandatory unit on inclusive education, which is amazing. So as we do that, I urge all of us to go an extra mile. Let us not depend on that one unit. Now there's a lot of information in the internet, and I like people who take an extra mile. Like we have a teacher in our platform I would like to really applaud. She's called Upendo. I hope she's still there. Upendo Kafongo. She's an amazing lady who is studying a lot. She's going an extra mile as well to create content, to attend conferences. This year we went for a Dyslexia Rising Africa conference together, and I know she was in October attending another training, another conference in Nairobi.
Yeah.
So such a teacher will not be left behind. Any teacher in our midst, Teacher Philbert, I know you're doing a lot also, but I wish we can take an extra mile. We can never depend on the government to come up with a curriculum that will give us all the information that we need. There's a lot of information on the internet as a teacher. Jiongeze, just go an extra mile and make yourself more and more informed. Thank you so much. I saw a hand from Carol K. Carol K, please come on board before we give Richard a chance. Carol. Carol?
She may be.
I saw a hand from Okay. Okay, if Carol is busy, she will talk later. Richard Karibu, you're welcome. I know, Richard, you're joining us from Ghana. Welcome.
Oh, thank you. Good evening to everyone. I think I'm Richard from Ghana, and mine is the recommendation to the speaker. In fact, he has actually done well, and he has delivered more on what I don't know. Now I'm getting it, but there is something few I wanted to find out. He did mention the challenges that inclusive school has to face. But I was expecting I would hear some solution to some of the challenges, but actually I couldn't hear it. I don't know if he spoke about it and I didn't hear it. I would like to get a few information concerns about that. And besides, another question is, that one goes to the host. I think throughout the show, I have not seen myself and even the speaker and the host, I didn't see their face. I don't know whether it's a setting or maybe it's the problem from the machine, because I'm just watching it, listening to it throughout, but I'm not seeing as usually it used to be. I'm not seeing anybody on the screen, so I want to find out whether it is a system problem or it's my side. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Richard. I will answer one of the questions that you've posed. Actually, today, I'm not in a position to host. I wasn't supposed to be the moderator of the day. My colleague in Sape was supposed to moderate and is in the office. He was ready to moderate, but he got an issue with his computer, so I had to jump in. So I'm not in a position where I can show my face. But Teacher Magoda, I'm not sure if you are able to use your video. And then after I say that, maybe Magoda, you can answer the other question. Richard was wondering what are the solutions you have for the challenges that are existing in the classrooms. Welcome, Magoda.
Okay, thanks for the question from Mr. Richard. So I will answer like this one. For me, as educators, I was taking different measures, especially in my social medias. I educate more about special needs education and about education to the community, to the parents, because I know the only things which is challenging in our community is the knowledge and the information. And the madam was speaking something which is very good. In order to move forward in the area of special education, partnership is very key areas. Yani, in special education, to partnership with other stakeholders is very important, because if we rely to the government, it will be so hard, because even to the normal, they have their problems. So when we add to our kids, it's still a challenge. So another way to move forward is to interact with other stakeholders. That's why when I meet with different people, when I meet with an organization, I was always telling them, that's why we need more knowledge and information support than material. So sometimes I thank to a company when they get some visitors who are teachers, who are educators, they pass to our schools and they share their knowledge about special needs education to our teachers. So this, in our school, we get some help to that way. We connect it with the other stakeholder. Because, for example, we was connected with the Norec project from Norway, who they let some of their volunteers in the area of special needs. So they come to volunteer in our school for 3 months. So we learn from them, they learn from us, so we get some knowledges. So that is the things which we do in our school. But we still also to educate our parents to their meeting, even to our fellow teacher. The challenge which I see, and the always who I like to say as Dr. Richard was, I think Dr. Richard was saying,
Dr. Vincent.
Yeah, Dr. Vincent, we lucky people to speak. You know, in Tanzania, we have activists in different sectors. We have activists in political, we have activists in health, especially most of them in political. But we lack activists in educational area. So our scholars, most of them, they are not come forward to speak the reality, what's going on in our educational system. So if you read about the reforms and the development of educational sector to other countries, was come after educational activity to challenge the system, to show the system where the problem, to show the system where there are problems. So our lack of educational activity that led the government to delay to watch forward to the area of special education. I can tell you, for example, in Tanzania, if you try to find speech therapist in our school, you will suffer consequences. You will try to find, you will not get, because there are most of the people who graduate, even in special needs education, we don't have any knowledge about speech disorders and the speech therapy. But if there is some activity, they say, hey, why in our educational system we have kids who have speech disorders and we have shortage of speech therapists? We need to find them. We need to support them. We need to sponsor them in order to get that knowledge. People will find out that our lack of educational activity to speak about education, that is challenge, because sometimes it's very hard for teachers who are within educational system to speak about challenge within educational system, because some people can look to him or to her in different way. But that is another way, Madam, I see, if you want to move forward, we need to have the education activity. Some we are trying to show it, even we know it led some challenges, but we try to speak it. For there are problems here, there are problems here. For example, now, in Tanzania, we don't have special needs education institution. Because if we have special needs education institution, this will help to have some publication, will help to have some unity when people can go there to study, can get knowledge. But no, we have adult institution, we have educational institution, but special needs education institution, some like Kenya, they have, it help to combine together different educators, different supporters about our special education. So that is the things which we lack in our nation. So sometimes we miss some scholarship, we miss some opportunity because there are no institution, independent institution toward special needs education in Tanzania, even to the university. Now there are 2 universities which they provide the special needs education. There are one in Dodoma, I think there are one in Tabora, but the diploma is in Patandi. So you can get the picture. The situation is. So I think another things which we need to have special needs education institution. This will help so much to provide educations and knowledge and to update some information to the teacher. Because sometimes you will face it, you can be even more time without going to the seminars, to the conference about special needs education. So now you can get the picture what is going on. So I think if you have the body which you can deal with that things will help us as a nation, because the special needs education without updating of knowledge, exchange of ideas from different country, from different places to move forward is very hard. Thank you.
Wow. Wow. Thank you so much, Mwalimu Magoda. You've mentioned a lot of points, and I'm sure, Richard, you have picked quite a number. Like there's collaborations with non-government organizations. You can see what Dyslexia Tanzania is doing, just supporting. We are supporting, we are working together with the government, starting an institute like Tanzania Institute of Special Education. TISE can be one of the ways to go about it. Teachers trying to increase their knowledge, in various ways. Attending this session in itself is in itself a solution. Imagine if we had 100 teachers listening to Mwalimu Magoda this evening. What big difference would we have made this evening? So I'm going to give a minute each. I see there are 4 hands. I'm going to give 30 seconds each. I'm starting with Carol because our time is gone. Carol, start, please.
Thank you very much, audience. Thank you, our presenter for today, Mwalimu Magoda, Dr. and Mr. Richard for your wonderful views. One of the points that Mwalimu in schools, we are supporting around 18 schools, equipping them with the knowledge that they need, equipping them with the resources, with the strategies, how they can handle this learners. But
I think Carol is having trouble with her network. So I wish, Carol, I wish we can just give somebody a chance to speak so that when network is better, we will go back to Carol. Nsape, quickly.
Okay, can you hear me, Cowdens?
Yeah.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay, so since we don't have much time, I just wanted to introduce someone, and I really wished that she spoke about her school situation because she's a school actually from Dodoma, and it is her first time to join us today. So I was wondering if she could get at least 30 seconds to at least share with
That's
us, to
fine.
at least tell us. Okay. So Hadija, welcome.
Hello everyone. My name is
Hi,
Khadija.
Adija.
My name is Khadija, the owner of the Horizon Academy located in Dodoma. I'm glad to be part of this session. From my experience at this Horizon Academy, I have seen that men and women face stigma because they fear being judged. Creating safe and welcoming spaces as well as training teachers or inclusive language has really helped. I'm eager to learn more strategies we can use to maintain inclusive practice throughout a year. And
Hadija, are you using headphones? I can't hear you very clearly. Please, could you speak without headphones? Because it's clearer when you speak without headphones.
okay.
Go ahead,
Can you hear
Hadija.
me? Oh my God. Can you hear me now?
Yeah, now
Yeah,
we hear
that's
you.
better.
Okay. I was just trying to say,
Mm-hmm.
in my school, in Best Horizon Academy, I have seen that many learners face stigma because they fear being judged. Creating safe and welcoming spaces, as well as training teachers or inclusive language, has really helped. Also, I'm eager to learn more strategies so that we can use to maintain inclusive practices throughout a year. And also, I'm kind of shaking. I'm excited to learn more and contribute to practice steps we can take. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Hadija. How I wish your teachers could join so that they learn, because they're in contact with many students every day. And we are happy to come to Dodoma and do a workshop for your teachers.
Thank
If
you
that
so
chance
much.
can arise, we can talk more. Thank you for joining the session. I see Dr. Vincent, your hand is up.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome.
So, my part in short is this. Special educational needs is dynamic. It keeps on changing every day.
Very true.
If you don't read, you don't update yourself, you don't read what people have done, you don't read the researches that have been done, it will be like filling the Indian Ocean with a glass of water. We will not be there.
Very true.
So it is something that you need to read every day. I'm not saying you read a whole book, no. Get online resources, check what schools are doing, go to the website of different schools. What are they implementing? Read their policies. What can you pick from their policies? How can you implement them where you are? So it is a really, really long journey. It requires a lot of devotion in this field. I've been in this field for quite over 20. I know it is demanding. It calls for sacrifice, time, money. Sometimes you'll sacrifice your family. Like now, people are sacrificing their families, but they're joining this session. Why? Because they're moving with quite a number of, things that are new here. So that's why I'm saying I feel pity for those people who are not joining such kind of forums. In developed countries, if you have such kind of a forum, it is paid. Nobody does something for free in developed countries. Let me tell you, I've worked in developed countries and I'm here currently in one of the developed countries. I'm telling you, nobody does this for free. You will be charged dollars for per hour. Somebody is telling you, I want $2,000 per hour for me to do this facilitation. And immediately the hour clocks, even if it's on 2 slides, he will go off. That is the time that you are paid for. So I feel pity why people cannot have such kind of forums. People like us, we have published more than 35 documents, supervised master students, but you're still joining because we know special educational needs. I will move out with something when I come to a forum. So I don't ignore anything in terms of disability studies, either forums, either walks, either international conferences, paper presentations, research, books that are shared online, and so forth. People should wake up. It's a wake-up call where we have forums such as this. I don't know how it's going to be. There was a time we had a person from the media. They should just publicize this kind of things instead of talking of politics. What is killing African continent and the stuff? They should just publicize things such as this, that we have a forum on dyslexia, join this forum so that we can move our countries from different levels without reading, without doing research, without participating in forums such as this, without joining international conferences, which Claudius has mentioned, without having exchange programs, which Mwalimu was saying, we will not be in a position to fill the huge gap that is there. Thank you, Claudius.
Thank you so much, Dr. Vincent. I see it's true. Maybe because we don't charge, that's why people don't come. We will do a research on that. Anyway, now there's a comment from Caro. I think, Caro, you're struggling with network, so you're able to write. Thank you. I'm looking at one of the troubles. I'm reading Caro's comment on the chat. I'm looking at one of the troubles from government schools to be attitude from the teachers because they are not well motivated. For community awareness to parents, families with children with disabilities, they fear because of the child protection and safeguarding. If we can offer this, we are saving lives. Thank you, Caro. If the government teachers are given enough knowledge, strategies, and resources, how best can we help them implement what we have given them? That's a question from Caro. But I think because our time is so much spent, we normally have to finish at 9. And our time is actually it's 7:09. I don't know, quickly, Magoda, you have 1 minute to answer Caro's question and give your last words. We have to close by 9:10, so 2 minutes, we are done. Magoda?
The issue about the special education, especially in Tanzania, as I say, we are ready to know about knowledge and information to that areas. So for now, we try to rise up about different organizations, for example, Dyslexia Tanzania and the other stakeholder. So most of our teacher, they was not have a knowledge about these things. So now they're starting to wake up. So as Dr. Vincent would say, it's our duty to share information, to challenge other people, to start to speak out about the special needs education. This will help us. My last words for this forum is to keep going, pushing, to keep educating people. I hope one day we reach to the community where they value special needs education for general. Thank you.
Thank you so much. To increase participation, my friends, let us purpose to come with one more new person in our next session. And if you're not in our support group, you're missing a lot because we learn every day. I'm putting my number on the chat so that you can inbox me. I add you to our support group. Invite as many teachers as possible, as many parents as possible, so that the word can get out there. We are planning a media session, an awareness session for media in Arusha on 18th of November. And we are going to have all the media houses publish our work as Dyslexia Tanzania. So I'm hoping